Welcome and thanks for joining us at WYCC.org for In the Loop, the after show. Our guests, Pedro de Jesus, General Counsel for Tampico Beverages, Nick Kacherubis, Visiting Assistant Professor at DePaul University, and Adrian Samuels-Gibbs, Senior Editor of Ebony Magazine. We're talking about debt before, and Mayor Emanuel is shelling out about $77 million this year for city lawsuits, $170 million last year. Adrian, is it better to settle or to spend that money fighting in court?
It's better to settle in these cases. Some of these people were terrorized by Jon Burge.
A big chunk of these settlements is money for these Burge cases.
Yes, a big chunk is Burge. You know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We could have done a lot of things a long time ago to stop his activities, but we didn't. So now we have to pay for it. I wish we didn't, but we do, and these people deserve every dime.
Nick?
You know, these cases that he's settling are ones that are pretty sure that they weren't going to win in court. So you could do one of two options as a municipality. You could keep going and hoping that you're going to win, or you can settle and pay out, which stops the clock, and you come into a settlement. Even if you did lose the case later on, as our lawyer will tell you, there's interest and fines that start to accrue. Legal fees come back into play. So I think the mayor's smart for trying to get these off the books.
Pedro, you're an attorney. What's your view?
This is really a change in how the city's going to litigate their cases, change in litigation style. And you know, the former mayor, his style was to hold and to drag these settlements out for a very long time. But eventually, that just ends up costing the city a lot more money. You know, Mayor Emanuel, he just, in all fairness, he inherited a mess, right? And as you said, many of these cases were these police torture cases. He inherited over 1,000 police torture cases. And so I think it's a smart idea to try and get these off the book. They didn't quite budget for them correctly. They budgeted $27 million this year, and it was all gone by January. They shelled out now over $176 million. So it's not money that we have, but I think it's a smart idea to get them off the books early.
You're hearing some complaints that one of the reasons for these settlements may be, and this is just speculation, that it was to spare former Mayor Daley from having to testify in these Burge torture cases. What do you think?
That's an interesting theory, and I know a lot of people have such theories. You know, I don't know. We all want to say things are Daley's fault because of this and that. We really don't know. What matters now at this point is that people have suffered, honestly, and we need to move past this. Chicago was suffering from a lot of views of all this gangsterism and bad management. Let's just get rid of this so that we can focus on our tourism and focus on doing things for the city and making headlines that are going to benefit the city.
And the mayor did apologize, something his predecessor didn't do. He did it publicly. Was that important?
I think so. I think the mayor is signaling he wants to move forward in his actions and his words by moving these forward. I think it's a good sign.
One other issue we want to talk about today, one of the more colorful politicians in our community, and we have no shortage of them. As we know, County Commissioner William Beaver is sentenced to 6 months in jail, fined $10,000 for cheating on taxes. Justice served, Mr. Attorney.
Depends who you talk to. You know, the prosecutors asked for more time. They asked for 21 months. Beaver's attorneys asked for probation. So the judge came down somewhere in the middle, and he said something interesting, and there's some truth to it, is that this isn't really a case of public corruption. He was charged for tax evasion. You know,
so it's a more garden variety crime.
It's a more garden variety crime, and he also said, interestingly, that he didn't regard Beavers as being a high-regarded elected official. He didn't accomplish anything significant politically, which Beavers, quite interestingly, went on the steps of the courthouse afterwards and took issue with. So he obviously does not know the meaning of the phrase, "Don't stare a gift horse in the mouth."
Beavers made much of the fact that he didn't apologize to the judge, and he wouldn't.
Well, I have to think it's kind of funny, but I think I know Judge Zagel, and he's not one that just hands down light sentences.
Ask Rod Blagojevich about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the thing is here, let's face it, I don't think any of us would want Beavers as our coffee partner. I don't think he's the kind of person I want to hang out with. But when you're making a decision, you have to kind of put that personality aside. And I think Judge Zagel did that. And you have to look at it. The money he spent was out of his political campaign fund. Now, that's still not a great thing, but it wasn't taxpayer dollars that he was spending, which other officials who have gotten harsher sentences have used.
Adrian, you had a big smile on your face. Last word goes to you.
Last word is, you know, he spent a lot of that money at the casino in Hammond. Makes me wonder, what if that casino had been here?
Aha, there you go. More revenue for the city, less debt. We've solved the problems. All right, thanks again. Pedro de Jesus, Nick Kaczarubis, and Adrian Samuels-Gibbs, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Good night.